G'day ladies and gentlemen, I'm just some Aussie gamer and welcome back to the third episode of the Australia playthrough here in Democracy 4. In the previous episode, we managed to get re-elected just in a coalition with one of the other parties, the Justice Coalition. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we did this by doing some pretty dodgy shit in the last few months leading up to the election to gain some votes. So, now, not only do I have to keep trying to fix the problems in this country, I have to fix the problems I created to get votes. Very political, if you ask me. Kind of the thing that a political party would do in real life. So I figured, it's relatively realistic. So, I greatly reduced the income tax rate, which has blasted our deficit right up. So that's something we're going to have to work on. We also are making religious people extremely annoyed, mainly because we're investing in technology and removing religion from within schools and improving human development, etc., etc. We've also managed to kill a native species, and we have a serious issue with illegal immigration and racial tension, despite the fact that we have extremely hard border measures by default. So, I want to try and kickstart the economy without killing people on tax and therefore recuperating government spending. Yeah. Anyway, enough of an overview of the previous episode. Let's get stuck into this one. So, illegal immigration is right on the start trigger. So, it appears that the GDP and the stability of the country is the reason behind this, which is annoying because you want a good GDP and you want good stability within the country. So that's frustrating. Native species have become extinct because of poaching. Okay, that's annoying. I guess I'm going to have to do something about the shooting laws in this country, which is probably going to annoy a shitload of people. And then one of our major party donors, Grace White, is insisting that you add in technology colleges. I mean, why not? Seeing as we're trying to increase the technology in this country. So these are special schools that focus on computer literacy, biotechnology, and similar subjects. Cool. And that's to encourage a greater level of technological literacy. Yep, okay, sounds good to me. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to do a Stamp Out Racism Week to help curb that racial tension. So. Technology colleges, we'll just implement it at a medium level at this point. And then we will also, where is that? Probably have done myself out of it, haven't I? Yeah, Stamp Out Racism Week. What do I need? One political capital short. That's frustrating. Okay. Fuel efficiency standards, not yet. Let's try and kickstart the economy a bit without taxing the wazoo out of people by throwing in a tourism ad campaign. What do we got? 5 political capital. This will help to, if I up this will reduce crime and violent crime It'll make more people conservative, but it will remove more unemployment. It'll drop down the alcohol abuse, which will help the health system. It'll remove corruption. Well, it'll help to remove corruption, and it will employ more people. Now, yeah, I don't really want to have to do this, and I will drag it back down once we get the crime under control, but for the moment, we are going to raise that right up. And it's going to cost more money, because, you know, as I think I've started to discover, I'm all about spend, 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 which, with a deficit of 26.14 billion, is not necessarily a great thing. But yeah, maternity leave, 3/4 pay. Okay, that's not bad. That is not bad. What about the disability benefit? Well, because we've introduced the workplace safety laws now, that disability benefit should have less of an effect on the economy. Right. Through to the next turn then already, I guess. So in today's episode, we'll go try to go towards about halfway through this particular what's the word I'm looking for, time of being elected, so 1.5 years. Our security services have been watching the group of religious extremists known as the Angels of Heavenly Justice for some time, and recent statements by their leader have given us cause for concern. The organisation has become more militant, often advocating violence and direct attacks against enemies of God, and specifically your government. We believe this represents a material threat to our security, and we should keep a close watch on them. Shit. I do not want to do stupid things like wiretapping and mandatory microchips, and there is no way that there is 90% press freedom in Australia when 80-something% of Australia's press is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who receives tax breaks from a certain political party. I guarantee you the press freedom in this country is barely 50%, but that's another argument for another day. I don't really want to increase that, but if I have to, I will arm every officer for the moment, because I don't really want to get killed, but I also don't really want to arm every officer, so never mind. I will just try and get through. Offer from one of your coalition partners. Proposal. Cancel Youth Politics Council. Extra political capital. 9. No. Because I want our youth to be educated in politics. So you can piss off. The phenomena of alcohol abuse has apparently subsided. That's probably because we increased the police force. Definitely going to ban flag burning. Don't know why that pisses off Liberals. The global economy is in a deep recession, but our GDP isn't dying too quickly. So that's nice. My popularity is now up to 67.95. The deficit hasn't exploded too much, so that's good. Labour laws balanced. Yes, I want to keep it balanced, but I want to try and drag it down to a lower area of balanced, if that's possible. So like that. And that's going to mean that people are still balanced, but it's going to also increase productivity. Which will be good, because we still have a serious issue with unemployment. And yes, it's big on the political capital. 12 of them. Damn, that's big. Okay. What's that? The sales tax contributes directly to poverty. Now, let me say where poverty is. It's not really... Not much happening. So... the secularity of education. Now, we're going to drag that right up. And that's going to really piss off those angels of heavenly justice. Excuse me, I'm going to have a sip of the iced coffee. But you know what? I'm not here to impress everyone. I'm here to benefit the country in the long term. So, we've got 3 political capital. I'm just probably... university grants. Yeah, I want to encourage people to go to university, so... okay, I can't raise it that small amount. That seems a little bit weird. Anyway. Alright, I'm just going to go to the next turn. There has been a large rise in the extent of illegal immigration, which may cause concern and social upheaval. Okay, I really need to get that Stamp Out Racism Week in. And I'm not exactly sure how to remove... yeah. So, supporting LGBT lessons. Well, it depends what school children are we talking about. Are we talking about primary school or secondary school? Because in secondary school, yes. In primary school, no. So I'm going to assume that because they're teaching about same-sex relationships, because that's a thing that is taught in secondary school, I'm going to assume that's what they're referring to, and I'm going to support the LGBT teaching. And now the religious people really hate me. Interesting. But I'm 73% popular. Corporate exodus. Why is there a corporate exodus? What's... corporation tax. Why is the corporation tax so high? Interesting. And is this... I'm not going to cancel the right to die. It's a beneficial policy. Toll roads. Not something I want to necessarily raise, but I will raise to the complete maximum. And I know that's... oh no, hang on, I needed to... No. I needed to do something about the racism. Cancel. I need to make sure I do that. Where would I find that? That. So that's going to bring down racial tension. And then I also need to sort out something about illegal immigration, which is going to mean that I'm going to need to maximize citizenship tests, which I didn't really want to do. Import tariffs. I'm going to drag those up. Sorry. I don't want to, but I want this country to have its own competitive economy. So slowly over time, I will drag this up more and more so that we make more and more things within this country. I know that's, going to piss off other countries, but I'm not here necessarily to please other countries. I'm here to please the people in this country. So, yeah. Alright. Next turn of government. We've already had this before. The national sports stars gagged again. That's happening way too much. Our GDP is growing, despite the fact that the global economy is in a recession. And our debt to GDP ratio is only 43.6%. That's interesting. That is interesting. Military spending. Well trained, yes. It helps to cyber warfare. It helps with cyber warfare, so I'm not going to change that. Refugee policy. I have to leave that where it is. Border controls. Just because of the illegal immigration, I'm going to push that right up. I don't necessarily want to. I would like to take it back to armed guards at a later point. But we have a serious issue with illegal immigration, so I have to do it because I'm about the people of this country. So, I have 4 political capital, and I need to try and implement something that is going to... So a smart meter program. It's going to increase the energy efficiency. Yeah, maybe. Charity tax relief. I'm already giving people a lot of tax relief. So a social... Oh, this could be good. A social justice foundation. This policy will establish a foundation that deals with the worries and problems of the poor and underrepresented in our country. It will take away some of the worries that these people have and gives them a better feeling of being included into society. It won't get them a better life directly, but at least some hope of a better future, and this is very important to have. Now, this is good because with all the subsidies for starting businesses and all sorts of things like that, giving people guidance through a foundation for those who may feel overwhelmed, that's potentially going to be helpful. So I'm going to fund that to the absolute maximum and hope that it gives me exactly what I'm looking for. Community policing as well. So I'm going to implement that. I'm going to drag it right up, and then that's going to enable us to keep the religious Angels of Heavenly Justice under control, and B, it's going to enable me to reduce the police force back a little bit in the future if I need to reduce government spending while still maintaining a low level of crime, should I say. So I'm going to implement that. It's ridiculously cheap, and it reduces unemployment, which is good. I'm very much... Okay, so I can't introduce anything. Yeah, I don't want to necessarily push the... Let's subsidize clean energy a little bit more. Get more of these companies to switch over to clean energy, so that then we can slowly reduce the subsidies that we pay. Because I obviously don't want to kill our citizens whilst improving their lives. It's just, personal, yeah. DNA database. Police chiefs are requesting that they be allowed to build up a global database of everyone's DNA to assist them in fighting crime. DNA evidence allows many previously unsolvable crimes to be tracked to the perpetrators, although there are privacy concerns. I want a criminal-only database. I don't want everyone to have their DNA taken. That's not fair. If you commit a crime, your DNA will be taken. Innocent people, no. Absolutely not. So our GDP continues to climb. Despite the fact that the global economy is trashed. Interesting. Very interesting. Social care. Still checking out some of these policies. Tobacco awareness campaign. What's the petrol tax? Only 17%. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to drag that up at this point. Is there any... any economy things that we can do that can keep pumping money? Eco-home regulations, what's this? By setting rules and standards for houses towards eco-friendliness, there are many more things to be considered now when building houses. This may cause a hassle for developers and landlords, but will help protect the environment in the long run. What does it do? It just increases our energy efficiency and environmentalist... No, that doesn't... Yeah, so... Special tax breaks given to large foreign-owned multinational companies to encourage them to invest in our country. This could include tax-free periods, introductory rates of corporate tax, and straight subsidies to encourage investment. Helps to encourage investment from overseas, but will be seen as incredibly unpatriotic and pandering to the whims of huge foreign capitalist organisations. But it increases the high earnings of people. It increases foreign investment, which I don't necessarily like, but it increases business confidence and it increases foreign relations. So I'm going to implement it, but I'm going to implement it low. Where is... Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Sorry. Labor Day bank holiday. Yep. I mean, as long as it's implemented, I can implement it at the lowest. It still means that people get the Labor Day bank holiday. I don't know why I need to implement it at medium and have a negative effect on the GDP, so I'm going to do that. Because I am now hoping that I can actually reduce the corporate tax, the payroll tax, and the income tax by increasing the GDP enough to cover the shortfall. Maybe that's something I can do. Maybe. Anyway, one political capital. Where are we at? We've got 8. Right, cool. Yep. So we're getting up close to the halfway point here. Popularity has increased a lot. It's almost as if people like paying less tax. Who'd have thought? The GDP is still increasing. The budget deficit is coming back down. Our party, the Democratic Moderates, is now the most supported, I think. Or it's getting more support. It's getting more support. We are taking a lot of people away from the Justice Coalition. Interesting. So, on track currently, the GDP we've nailed. Poverty is still, okay. Human development, we are on the right track. The secularity of education raised by 50%. Now, there's something we should just knock out right now. If I can find the policy. No. So this is where we can make our money in funding science and all that sort of stuff. Where is the secularity of education? No. No one doesn't even... Okay. Cool. Adult education subsidies. Right. That's not going to fix the secularity of education, but what it is going to do is going to enable us to retrain our adult workforce. Yes. Where is this? I really need to find the secularity of education. I swear I clicked on it before, and now I can't find it, and it's actually annoying me. There. Can't increase it anymore at this point. How many political capital do I need? I need quite a lot of political capital, so I'm gonna... Okay, cool. Righto. That is not a problem. Okay, what have I got? 7 political capital. What's... Let's introduce the genital mutilation ban. Heavy fines is good. Let's introduce a carpooling campaign, and then we... Because there doesn't appear to have been, like, at this point, I think we've knocked out the pandemic, if the pandemic was even a thing, because of how much we've increased health in this country. So, let us spend 11.9 million on a carpooling campaign. We don't need to spend big money on that, but we'll just, yeah. Okay, power lines. So, angry citizens are protesting against a project to build power lines through their villages. These power lines are necessary to further increase use of renewable energy sources. Not building them would be an economic setback, but if you ignore the citizens, this will make them even angrier and supportive of their cause. Yes, there are alternative ways to explore, like underground power lines. So I'm going to do underground power lines, because above ground are unsightly. Yeah, well, I don't give a shit if it annoys you capitalists. There's always a way to do things. Always. And if that's going to affect the health of my citizens, I'm not interested. You have inherited a referendum result from the previous government, and the people's will must be adhered to. The nation was split in half over whether to remain in a union with our trade neighbours. By the finest of margins, the electorate voted to leave the super-state. Our own laws, constitution and markets are so entangled with the unions that leaving seems an impossible bureaucratic task. However, what leave means wasn't defined, so this may be an opportunity for political land grab. What? So they held a referendum to become the Republic of Australia? Okay. So multinational tax evasion is about to be a problem. So corporation tax, 28%. Damn, that's quite high. I don't necessarily want to have multinational tax evasion. I'm very much aware that I am continuously adding to the debt by reducing the tax here, but there will be a way to bring that down. And it is simply because when I have everyone employed, no one in poverty, and the GDP through the roof, the budget deficit will reduce. And then as people make more money, I can tax them a little bit more without ruining their lives. So, reduce legalized sex work to 17%. No! It helps our GDP. Who is this? Excuse the language, but who the fuck is this Justice Coalition? I don't care if they hate me. I've got 72% popularity with the voters. Clearly I'm doing something right. You know? So, as far as I'm concerned, they can, you know, an antibiotics ban. Yes, definitely we want to implement an antibiotics ban because I don't want to end up with a super strain of antibiotics, which I know is a thing that happens in this game. So we're going to up that, and of course the farmers are going to be like, oh, that's not fair. Well, figure out a way to feed the animals naturally, you know? Right. At some point, I'm going to tax that to the full percentage. And I know people are going to be like, you can't, you know. It's going to solve a massive... It's going to take a huge burden off the health system. It's probably going to increase poverty, so I better make sure that I implement a few things that stop poverty from increasing before I go and do that. City farms... I guess, seeing as I just made it harder or more expensive for farmers, now I better make it easy for farmers to have more farming. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Alright, so that takes us to halfway through. The deficit has reduced slightly from where it was at the election, but I do get the feeling that I am going to slowly have to bump the tax rate up again, which is something I don't want to do, but at the current point in time, I'm not exactly sure what to do. Definitely, I need to raise the secularity of education, and I also need to start investing in like science funding and all that so that we can increase human development. Same with stem cell research. I need to increase that. We really need to invest in the public services area, especially the science part of public services area, so that we can increase the human development of the people in this country. Something very important. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm pretty happy with how we're progressing. The only thing that I'm not happy with is the debt situation. I will come up with a way eventually to sort that out. I'm hoping that just by injecting money into the economy and getting everyone working and getting, you know, all the corporations and making them happy and reducing their tax rates and enabling them to employ more and more and more people, that will just solve itself. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll obviously fix that. But at this point in time, I'm quite happy with where we're at. We'll definitely need to introduce a couple of things as well to help stamp out poverty. So maybe some things like rental controls and some food stamps. And then we'll actually probably be able to increase the tax rate a little bit to help increase the income again. Yeah, anyway, as I said, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell if you want to see more. I'm always looking for feedback, constructive criticism, so if you've got anything you'd like to add in the comments where I can improve in my videos, please let me know. It would be greatly appreciated and taken on board. But until the next video, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Have a great whatever part of the day you're at, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.